Hey guys! Today we'll be covering a 2018 romance film called Brother's Friend. The movie revolves around a teenage high school student named Mai. She loves to cook and lives with her older brother, Yukihiro. One rainy day, Mai rushes home from school while her brother brings his friend Sauta home. Yukihiro then calls Mai outside to bring towels as he and Sauta are drenched from the rain. As soon as Mai goes outside with the towels, she sees Sauta for the first time and is enchanted. It's clear that Sauta is also captivated by Mai's beauty as the two lock eyes. But they get interrupted by Yukihiro, who wants to get their attention. It turns out that he had invited Sauta over for a project, so the two go inside to begin working on it. Later, Mai hears the two talk in the other room while she does her homework. Surprisingly, Sauta reveals that he finds Mai very cute and that he became shy after seeing her. This shocks both Yukihiro and Mai. The latter feels embarrassed as it is the first time a boy has complimented her. Shortly after, Mai notices that she is running low on groceries and decides to head out to the store. But before she does, she notices Sauta's shoes are soaked due to the rain. So, she crumples up newspapers and stuffs them inside the shoes to help them absorb the moisture. After a while, Sauta notices this and appreciates the kind gesture. One day at school, one of Mai's friends announces that she finally has a boyfriend. When asked how it happened, she says that the boy kept calling her cute. This reminds Mai that she was also called cute by Sauta and contemplates whether he likes her or not. The same day when she returns home from school, Mai meets Sauta outside the door and the two immediately feel nervous seeing each other. Sauta wants to know Mai's name but hesitates to ask her and instead asks for directions to the bathroom. Mai stutters and guides him there and later feels embarrassed for being shy. Meanwhile, Yukihiro doesn't mind that Sauta fancies his little sister. Instead, he encourages him to pursue her. After he finds out that Sauta couldn't ask her name, Yukihiro scolds him for acting like a child. Meanwhile, Mai listens in on the conversation and gets butterflies in her stomach, which shows just how shy and innocent the two actually are. One day, willing to break this tension, Sauta buys a piece of cake as a gift. When he hands it over to her, they touch each other's hands, which startles both of them, dropping the gift. They again make contact when they try to lift it up. Shy, Mai rushes inside with the gift and reels with embarrassment. One day while returning home from school, Mai trips and loses one of her shoes. She is then made fun of by some boys on bicycles before they head off. As Mai feels abashed, Sauta comes to the rescue and helps her up. He then searches the bushes for her shoe and eventually finds it. In this very moment, Mai realizes that what she feels for Sauta is actually true love and thanks him for his help. In the next scene outside the supermarket, Mai meets a friend of hers who asks for her notes. Meanwhile, Sauta happens to be nearby and sees Mai with a boy. He assumes that it's her boyfriend and later informs Yukihiro about the matter. Meanwhile, Mai listens in and is shocked to see that Sauta thinks that she has a boyfriend when in reality, it was just a classmate. She wants to clarify the whole situation, but doesn't feel confident enough. On the other hand, Yukihiro is dismissive of the situation and motivates Sauta. He asks him if he will really give up on Mai after finding out she has a boyfriend. To give them some time to bond, Yukihiro gathers both of them. He then orders Sauta and Mai to go into the dog coffee shop to make a video of his favorite dog, which Mai is familiar with. So, the two head off and make their way inside the coffee house. Sauta and Mai enjoy their time together and take many photos with different dogs. As they walk home, Sauta finally manages to build up the courage to confess his true feelings to her, even though he thinks she has a boyfriend. To his surprise, Mai clarifies that she is single and also reveals that she likes him too. Although the two of them have confessed their feelings for each other, they are still very shy. One day, Sauta explains to Yukihiro that even though they feel the same way, he is still confused about whether they are dating or not, as he still doesn't know anything about Mai, including her name. Yukihiro is baffled by this and scolds him for not knowing her name. As usual, Mai hears this, and she is also rather confused because she assumed that the two of them were dating. Later, when Sauta is about to leave, Yukihiro encourages him to ask his sister out on a date. However, he freezes and stutters again, causing Yukihiro to leave in anger. One day, the two finally go on a date to a restaurant. Sauta notices many other couples who have close and connected relationships, making him feel uneasy. Shortly after, the two are served a complimentary couple ice cream from the restaurant. Nervous, Sauta immediately says to the waitress that they are not a couple, assuming that Mai doesn't want to date him. This hurts Mai's feelings, and she immediately leaves the restaurant crying. The scene then cuts to Mai in a park, sitting all alone. She is then confronted by Sauta, who says that he has always liked her. He apologizes for his inexperience and for hurting her feelings. He then properly asks her out, and she gladly accepts the proposal. A few days pass by, and their relationship is going quite well. One day, Mai is called into school to help supervise an entrance exam for the new students. When she enters the class, she notices a freshman whose stomach growls very loudly, attracting all his classmates' attention. Being the good person that she is, Mai decides to help him out and offers him her lunchbox. The freshman appreciates this gesture and assumes that she has a preference towards him, sparking his interest in her. Later at Sauta's home, Mai tells him about the incident. Sauta then says that his cousin, whom he is tutoring, has cracked the entrance exam at Mai's school. As they talk, Sauta awkwardly leans in for a kiss, but is interrupted by his little sister, Aki. The next day at school, Mai spots the freshman, who is again very hungry and is lying on the floor surrounded by dogs. She offers him a chocolate bar and notices that his sweater is torn. She quickly stitches the sweater, and after a while, the freshman introduces himself as Kaga. It turns out that Kaga already knows Mai's name, as he had searched for her after their first encounter. The scene then cuts to Sauta's home, where it is revealed that Kaga is actually his cousin. During his tutoring session, Kaga takes a glance at Sauta's phone and sees Mai's photo as his wallpaper. He then finds out that Mai is actually Sauta's girlfriend, and Kaga reveals that he too has fallen for her. This obviously causes animosity between the two, but instead of apologizing, Kaga mentions that he will continue to pursue her. From then on, he tries his best to make Sauta jealous as he eats Mai's homemade cookies. Pissed, Sauta relays everything to Yukihiro, but the latter reassures him that it is all trivial. However, Sauta says that Mai and Kaga have been spending a considerable amount of time together. Hearing this, Yukihiro says that he has an idea in mind. He knows a place that his sister will like very much. Following this suggestion, Sauta takes Mai to a supermarket where everything is only 100 yen. Mai is thrilled to see a variety of products and utensils at such a low price and buys a handful of them before leaving. As they walk, she continuously talks about Kaga and describes his attributes. Jealous, Sauta asks about her relationship with Kaga and if she is close with him. Just then, Kaga appears behind them, and it begins to rain heavily. All three of them hurry over to Sauta's home, which is not that far, and decide to spend the night there. Mai shares Aki's room, albeit a very messy one, for the night. She helps her clean the room and gets to know Aki actually works part-time in the dog cafe shop and also likes the manager there. Later, the four of them decide to play a game of cards in which the loser has to confess who they like. Sauta tries his best to make sure that his cousin doesn't lose, but Kaga outsmarts him and eventually loses. However, just as he is about to say Mai's name, Sauta points out that Aki had made a mistake previously, and as a result, she becomes the loser. Later at dinner, they see the curry made by Aki, which looks horrific. Sauta doesn't eat any and doesn't let Mai eat any either. However, Kaga tries the curry and immediately regrets it as his body cannot handle the food. Suffering from a stomachache, he lays on the sofa. A few moments later, Mai checks in on him and orders Sauta to get him some medicine. Kaga tries to use this opportunity to get closer to Mai, but luckily Sauta stops him in the nick of time. Shortly after, lightning knocks out the power, and Sauta is forced to go to the electric panel to sort things out. Meanwhile, due to the dark, Mai approaches Kaga and hugs him, thinking that he is Sauta. She reveals that she likes him very much, but is worried that she will hurt him. Taken aback, Kaga pushes Mai back, who still thinks he is Sauta. A few days pass by, and Mai and Sauta have still not talked to each other. The real reason Sauta is avoiding her is because of his jealousy. However, he hasn't confronted her yet, thinking that it might upset her. One day, Mai spots him with his female classmate and assumes that he now likes another girl. But contrary to her belief, Sauta is actually talking to the classmate about his girlfriend Mai and how he intends to marry her in the future. In the next scene, we see Kaga in his cousin's room receiving his usual tutoring. It turns out that Sauta is sick, but he hasn't told Mai because he doesn't want her to worry. Kaga also doesn't reveal anything and simply texts Mai that her boyfriend is fine. This also confirms her suspicions that Sauta is busy with some other girl. Devastated, she begins to cry profusely, and Yukihiro hears this. He then informs her that Sauta is actually sick and sends her to his place. By this time, he has become so weak that he can't even open his eyes. Mai stays beside him the whole night and cares for him. The next morning, she also cooks breakfast while he is still asleep. Shortly after, Kaga shows up and finds Mai attending to his cousin. As they walk home, he takes advantage of the solitude and cunningly starts manipulating her. Kaga lies and says that Sauta has actually moved on and doesn't care about her anymore. This makes Mai very emotional, and she runs off, heartbroken. As a result, Kaga finally realizes that what he is doing is wrong and selfish. A few days pass by and the estranged couple still haven't been in contact with each other. Mai is confused if she should call him or not, as she fears that a breakup is imminent. One day, Kaga runs up to her and convinces her to go meet Sauda in front of his school immediately. He says that if she truly loves him, she shouldn't give up on him so easily. Hearing this, Mai runs to Sauda's school and confesses her feelings for him. She says that she loves him a lot and thanks him for everything that he has done before running off. Shortly after, Sauda catches up to Mai and apologizes for his attitude, which resulted in misunderstandings between them. With this, they make up and hug one another. A few days after, Sauda visits Mai and enters her room for the first time, where they have tea. Even after knowing each other for months, the two are still shy and don't know what to talk about. However, once Yukihiro leaves the house, Sauda and Mai kiss each other, creating a happy ending.